and gentlemen, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to
RenderForest.com.
Alright guys, here's the next part, next drawing we're going to do. It's another assembly. This one is a ball peen hammer. It's going to be same amount of parts, 3 parts. So you're going to start by opening up your title block. Now I'm going to save as, and I'm going to label this kind of the same as gravity center punch. I'm going to go BPH ball peen hammer 1 for the first part. Alright, now I'm going to start with the center line. I'm going to do center line for the overall length. This is kind of the smallest part of the ball peen hammer. It's the end cap. Now if I switch to object, alright, this section is 1 inch in diameter, and it comes over 5/8. Now let me double check. If I double click on it. Alright, so it's 1 inch. It's 1 inch in diameter. So the center line, I'm just going to move up to the midpoint. If I didn't do that, then it would end up being twice as big as what I really wanted. Bring this up and over. Alright, on this side, there's some threads. Right, there's external threads, and then there's a hole drilled in the middle. The diameter of the threads is 3/4. So if I come up 3/8, take it over, mirror down. Alright, now there's a section on the end here that is smaller diameter. It's 15/16 and it's 3/16 in. So if I go offset 3/16, bring this over, come up 30 seconds is half of 15/16, and connect that. Trim here and here. That's what it should look like. I'm going to mirror that down. Trim. Alright, now chamfers. There are 2 of them, basically both ends, so here and here. I'm going to go chamfer. I'm going to do angle. As for the length is 1/16. Angle is a 45 degree. Select, hit enter, points, enter, points. Connect my new corners, top to bottom. Alright, so this side is all done. Here I'm going to do the threads. It's the simplified version of the threads. So I'm going to do offset 1/16. Offset fill in, fill down, up. All those are 1/16 apart. Alright, this first section here is a 16th by 16th relief groove. So I'm going to use trim. I'm going to trim that outside line. Right. The rest of these are representative of threads. So if I trim every other one here and here, I can trim that line back, leaving it just going through the 16th relief group. So all my external stuff is done on this view. Last thing, I will have some hidden lines. The hole that's drilled inside is a 1/2 inch in diameter. So I come from the center line up 0.25, and then it goes in 5/8, 1/2 inch, back out, get rid of that extra little line there. Alright, there's a point on it. I'm going to keep it simple. It's going to be 120 side to side, so I'm going to do 60 and 60. So tab 60, trim, mirror that line. Alright, so that view's all done. The side view with the circles. Again, I'm going to do center radius, bring my center point over, outside circle. Next one I can see will be this one. And next one I can see from the chamfer, and then from the hole that's drilled in. Change the hidden, bring over the 15/16 diameter, and bring over the chamfer of 15/16. Right. It looks slightly different than what's on the paper. This is what I'm looking for though. Let me add my center lines. And horizontal. I'll add in the dimensions. I have my overall length here, 3/8. Swap that over to the side. This is 3/16. And then there's some ones I'm going to have to type in. Here, diameter, 1/2 inch by 5/8. Scroll out a little bit. Here, do my threads, 3/4, 16 UNF-2A. Again, all you really have to worry about is that size. That's the only thing we use. 1/16 by 1/16. Groove, not groove. On the knurl. Do this diameter here. That's 16ths. this outside diameter instead of labeling it here because it's getting kind of crowded. The last thing is the chamfer. Pure 1/16, 545 degree. I want to. This end overlapping. Drag her up a little bit. So there we go. That is everything you need for this first part for the ball peen hammer. So I'll save it. My layout. I'm just gonna round up 30. Alright, part 1 done. Let me go switch back to model. I'm gonna delete that stuff. I'm gonna do save as. Change it to BPH2. Save. Flip to the second part in my packet. And this is the handle. Alright, handle, gonna start same way. Use my center line and draw a center line the entire length. It is 10.5. Go back to object. I'm gonna start this side and kind of work my way over. Alright, first section is labeled as A. A is finished to 15/16. So I'm going to do the top half and mirror it down. So I'm going to go 15 3 seconds. That's half 15/16. This goes over a 1/4 inch. Back down. Next section is 1 inch. So I'm going to go up 0.5. And this section is 3 7/8 in length. I'm going to go 3 7/8. Kind of cheat the system there. Next part, diameter is 15/16. 15 seconds. 1/4 inch. Connect down. Alright, the next part angles down. Doesn't tell us the angle, but it does tell us the distance and then the next diameter. So I'm going to come over 4 3/8, 4.375, and then the diameter is a 1/2 inch, so I'm going to go up a 1/4. Then I just connect to where I stopped at. Delete that line. Next one angles back up. The distance is 1 inch over, and this diameter is 5/8. I'm going to do 5/16. Connect down. Delete here. This goes 1/4 inch over. And then there's threads on the end. The threads are 1/2 inch in diameter, so I'm going to go up 0.25, connect it over, and then there's a chamfer on the end. Chamfer, distance 1/16. 1/16 here. Connect that new corner down. Alright, I'm going to do the relief groove here and the simplified threads, offset 1/16. Bring this down, do trim, select everything, trim there, and trim every other one. Get rid of that line. Alright, so external stuff is all done. There are some stuff in the end here. Let me select this whole thing. Mirror. Select my center line. Put down there. There we go. Now, on this end, there's a hole drilled in, and then there's threads. The hole goes in 4 5/8 deep and is 11/16 in diameter. So I'm going to come here. I'm going to come up half of 11/16, so 11 3/2, and goes in 4 5/8, 4.65, 11/16. Add the point on here. I'm going to have to do tab 120. Just go on this angle. Trim. Mirror. Right, now, before I get too involved here, these are going to be hidden lines because they're internal. Now I'm going to do the threads on the end here. The threads are bigger diameter. They're 3/4 of an inch. Here we go. 3/8. Then the threads go in 3/4. 0.75. 0.75. 0.75. And back out. Leave that little line. Trim where the hole is inside of the threads. I'm going to use offset 1/16. Set down, offset up. Alright, this is the other way of showing threads. This is a schematic. Basically, you're showing the outside diameter and then the minor diameter, or major diameter, minor diameter, the skinniest part to widest part. On the paper, this has a broken section though, so it's going to show both. So I'm going to come in here. Alright, I'm going to do a jagged line. That's where it's like I took a chunk of this and just ripped it out. I'm going to turn off object snap so it doesn't jump to every single edge and corner. Trim. Turn this back on. Now, this part is going to be a section view. So let me trim this line back. And then I'm going to connect it over with an object. These two are going to get switched to object. This line is going to get trimmed down to there and reconnected up with an object. This line, trim, leave that for now. It's gonna kind of get trimmed down. So now for the other way of showing threads, offset 1/16. Fill this area in. We already got that one. So I'll just take this one over. Alright, trim. Select this edge. Every other one is getting trimmed down. I can get rid of that line. Now, some of these extend past the cut line, some don't meet it. I'm going to trim the ones that do first. Back, trim, trim. Alright, these that don't meet it, we're going to do extend. I'm going to hit enter. Now, just click on the lines and it will extend them down. Alright, touching. I'll add in my hatching. It tells me this material is aluminum. So the pattern that you want to use is ANSI 38. Click to place that. And the handle's all done. Let me do the circles on the end. I'll do a right side view. So I bring my center over, bring this 15/16 over, get it back to object. Same center point. You got your 1-inch diameter. Center point. Next would be this 1/2-inch diameter. And then you have your 5/8. You can also type these in visually. Sometimes bringing them over helps kind of connect the sizes. And this is the same as this, so I won't need that. These two inside ones are hidden. Right, from here, I'm also going to have a couple circles for the threads and the hole that's drilled. Alright, so let me do for the hole, and then for the threads. Alright, that outside one is going to be hidden. Alright, I'm going to pause it now, do the dimensions. It's nothing different that's on the paper. Alright, so I pause it just to go in and save some time, do the dimensions. You can pause it here if you deem this as a reference. It's literally the same thing that's on the paper, just doesn't have the notes up top. But I have this one, center that one up, I have the handle, my save, alright, save as, PH3, hammerhead is the last part. Go to model. Alright, this is now the third one. All the other parts, I just delete what's there so I can kind of keep a running number of what drawing I'm on. But the last part to make is the actual hammer head. Do a center line for the overall length of it, 3.5, and then go object. Alright, it is 1-inch diameter. Now, pardon me, I'm going to go through this one kind of quick because the bell's about to ring. I want to try and get this whole drawing on this video. So I got my diameter the whole way. I'm going to do some offset, 7/8 from here back, and it is, so it's 1/2 inch here over. We'll offset 1 inch, 0.5. Alright, 2-point circles here and here. Same on the bottom side. If it's a cutaway, use trim. Alright, offset 1/16. The head of the hammer on the side is tapered. To do that, I'm going to use axis end. Click on top, bottom of the line I just offset, and midpoint is the outside edge. Get my trim here and here. Delete this line and trim this back. Circle on the end here. I'm just going to do tan. 1, 2, 3. Got it. Trim. Cut this away. Alright, the widest point isn't here. If you do that, you're going to shorten your hammerhead up. In the center here, there's a couple circles. Do diameter. Bring this midpoint down. Alright, outside one is 5/8. Next one is the threads, so 1/2 inch. That one is hidden. And do offset 1/16. This in. That's for the minor diameter of the threads. I can see it, so it'll be object. Put a center line going down through here. That will help make the hole that's drilled down through. The size of the hole is 1/8, so I'm going to do 1/16. Offset over, trim. That's going to stop once it hits the hidden circle. Change these to hidden. Alright. This line, it's actually going to be a section. Add my arrows. More options. Got it there. Right about there. Point them over yonder. And copy. There and there. Do a section view over here. Line up centers. 1 inch in diameter. From the circle. Alright, it's going to come in. Let me just go from this point. Alright, it's going to come in 1/8. I'm going to come up 1/2 of 5/8, 5/16. Connect back out. Now the threads from here over. Alright, the threads are 3/4 deep. I already went 1/8, so that'd be 6/8, so I'm going to go 5/8. Let's go the whole way down. 5. Back out. Take this little bit here. Mirror. Get rid of that. Point onto the end here. And it's going to be 120. Add 120. Take it. Mirror. Midpoint. Trim. Get rid of that. That's a bell. So let me quickly try and finish this before everyone rushes in. Offset 1/16. Here and here. Delete that. Trim the little extensions. I know I'm being picky on this. Trim there. Alright. Then I'll add in hatching, dimension, hatching. This is made out of brass. Let me scroll. Do brass. Select, select, select. I'm going to put it on an angle so it doesn't line up with the edges that are there.
Following students, please
I'm also
report
going
to
to
the main
change the
office.
scale
Nathan
to
Wilson,
half scale.
Kirsten Reike.
Alright, so I did my hatching. Last thing is to do the threads in here. Do offset 1/16. I'll offset this back to fill it in. Do. Offset in. Offset in. I'm going to use trim. And then every other one I'm going to trim. Alright, so I trim the top, now I trim the bottom. Delete. Delete. I have this one all done. Alright, I'll pause it, add in the dimensions, pop it back up, and then you can use that as a reference if you need. I'll do, kind of like on the same one, I'll do a separate one where I assemble and do the parts list for you. Alright, and here's all the dimensions. You may want to clean them up a little bit. This one, stepping down here, put it up top. That off to the side there. Alright, so that's everything you need. Got your layout, extents, hammerhead, numbers, and that's all the parts. Like I said, I'll do a second video putting everything together and doing the parts list.